It's very common knowledge that rental prices in California are sky high. In fact, rents are so high that some properties rent for over $5,000 per month. These are usually single-family homes or luxury apartments in highly desirable areas. But the first month's rent is not the only amount renters must pay in order to move in. They must also provide a security deposit. Currently, California law allows landlords to charge up to twice the monthly rent as a security deposit. But if the property comes furnished, that deposit could be 3 times the monthly rent, or over $15,000. And if that sounds absolutely crazy to you, that's because it is. This is Renter Confidential. Some landlords can legally ask for a $15,000 security deposit plus $5,000 for the first month's rent, or $20,000 total in order to move into a new rental. But never fear, according to a recent article by Ethan Varian, the California Assembly has leapt into action to get rental security deposits under control and save the day. Matt Haney, an assembly member from San Francisco, has proposed legislation that will limit the security deposit landlords can charge to an amount equal to a single month of rent. In theory, this would reduce the security deposits required to move by up to 50%, thus making it easier for renters to move as their circumstances change. And by a vote of 53-14, the California Assembly has decided to move this legislation forward. While this sounds attractive, there are significant problems with this bill and its logic. First, it may not limit the security deposits that renters are actually required to pay in the marketplace. Second, there are a number of issues related to security deposits that this bill doesn't speak to at all. And thirdly, there are market-based solutions to this problem which the bill completely ignores. For those who don't know, a security deposit is an amount of money provided to the landlord when a lease is signed. While the landlord gets to hold these funds, they still belong to the renter. This money is held as insurance to protect the landlord from certain risks, such as property damage. It's like in that episode of How I Met Your Mother. Ted, Marshall, and Lily are all moving out of their apartment. Marshall asks Ted to reimburse him for his half of the security deposit. Ted asks why he should pay for the whole thing. The explanation involves a poorly installed wall-damaging bookshelf, a demonstration of a Renaissance fair flail that goes horribly wrong, and an ill-fated fire-based magic trick that scorches yet another wall. Granted, these 3 aren't as bad as Michael Keaton in the movie Pacific Heights, but the point is, landlords have no idea what you'll actually do once you're in the apartment. Now, when the renter moves out, if the property isn't damaged and no money is owed to the landlord, then the security deposit must be returned in full to the renter. But in both of these cases, that's not going to happen. Over my career, I've seen $0 security deposits, $99 deposits, and yes, I've even seen a few times when 2-month deposits have been charged. The higher security deposits are used in instances where applicants have credit scores that don't qualify, or when they have prior evictions, or when applicants have pets. The higher the risk, the higher the security deposit charged. On the flip side, I've also seen lower deposits for those with stellar credit or who pay rent in advance. These variations in security deposit reflect applicant situations, market conditions, and competition. In fact, I had a chat with Brooks Baskin, CEO of To Be Living, a property management company in San Francisco. And he stated that they very rarely, if ever, charge twice the rent as a security deposit. He made some great points during our chat. Even if prospective renters have enough money for the deposit, they rarely want to have that much money tied up. And to really hammer that point home, that money could just be tied up until their lease runs out in a year, or it could be much longer since they may not know how long they'll actually be in the apartment. He went on to say he advises their clients to stick to 1 month's rent as a deposit. There are even times when they would ask for less than 1 month's rent, such as for apartments in newly constructed buildings. So it's extremely unlikely that the majority of renters in the state of California are paying 2 full months' rent as a security deposit anyway. At this point, we're going to take a quick break for today's sponsor, Apartment Search Secrets. This free book removes stress from your apartment search. The link is in the show notes, and here's the trailer for this amazing book. That new job you've been looking for finally came through. So you're taking on a new adventure in a brand new city, which all means one thing: packing. And the stress it brings. But you can drop all that stress for free with Apartment Search Secrets. With this short ebook at your side, you'll know your value as a renter. You'll know what the internet can't tell you. You'll see landlord problems coming a mile away. And you'll get the best perspective on your rental search. Visit rentalsecrets.net for your free copy today. And we're back. The title of the article is $10,000 to move into a new apartment. Bill would give California renters a break on high security deposits. But, as we've seen, there are market forces already pushing landlords to not ask for 2 full month deposits. Furthermore, the article mentions median rents in the most expensive areas like the San Francisco Bay Area are closer to $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment. So, the full 2-month deposit for that would only be $5,000. So it seems very few Californians actually face the possibility of a $10,000 security deposit, despite what the headline would suggest. As I stated earlier, security deposits are charged to protect landlords from the risks involved in renting to the public. Before the creation of the security deposit, these risks were previously handled by charging higher rents. But the innovation of the security deposit meant the cost of these risks could be removed from the monthly rent. So using a security deposit, the renter makes a one-time payment related to those risks, which they are likely to receive back, and enjoys a lower monthly rent payment. This legislation doesn't actually address any of the risks that security deposits were designed to cover. As such, it may push landlords back toward using higher rents in order to address these risks in situations where a security deposit equal to 2 months' rent is warranted. Moreover, becoming a landlord and remaining a landlord is an investment choice. People can invest in stocks, bonds, businesses, or gold. The only reason people invest in rental property is because they choose to do so. However, every tightening of rental regulation, every additional cost imposed, and every additional month it takes to resolve landlord-renter legal disputes makes it more likely that fewer people will become landlords. So this legislation may reduce the number of people who choose to be landlords. Lastly, there are solutions to address this problem already in the marketplace. Security deposit insurance has been a recent innovation within the property rental industry. Instead of making a lump sum security deposit payment up front, the renter can instead purchase an insurance policy that covers the risks of property damage and non-payment of rent. These policies are paid for through low monthly payments. This solution carries with it the possibility that both landlords and renters can benefit. The landlord's risks are covered, while renters don't have to provide thousands of dollars up front. Unfortunately, as it seems there was little to no research on how many renters actually pay twice the monthly rent as a security deposit, there also seems to have been little to no research on alternatives to this legislation that may already be available. So, here's the takeaway. The overwhelming majority of renters aren't facing deposits equal to 2 months' rent. The landlord's risks aren't changing, and the potential market solutions are being ignored. In short, it sounds good, but this legislation will likely provide little to no actual benefit for renters. Thanks for watching Renter Confidential. Happy apartment hunting. When it comes to renting, insider information is the best roommate you can ever have.